Good evening, everyone. My name is Prasanna Kumar, and I will be your host and moderator for this panel webinar. For those of you who are joining in from other cities and maybe other countries as well, a good morning and a good evening as well. I'm really excited because we have an amazing panel of experts in the D2C industry. Where in this particular webinar, we are definitely going to pick each one's brain on their insider tips on leveraging WhatsApp and social media. Before we get started, let me quickly just go over the webinar, the house rules. Let me just share my screen. Okay. So during the webinar, keep yourself muted. Please turn off your camera. And if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A section. All the questions will be taken in the last. Any similar questions that we see, we may not directly address it. We'll combine it and answer it so that, to save on time. And if you have any further questions, please write to us at marketing@limechat.ai. We'll be more than happy to answer any of these questions. So let me, I'm super excited to this panel because each and every one of them are extremely profound, have profound insights, and they are D2C leaders, I would say. So let me begin by introducing Abhilasha Sinha, who's the Chief Product Officer at OpenSecret. In case, for those of you who don't know, OpenSecret is India's fastest growing healthy snack brand, which aims to normalize snacking and its tasty yet guilt-free options. Abhilasha has been instrumental in the company's growth, working in product and marketing, and has many key insights to share about running a D2C business. Welcome aboard, Abhilasha. The next speaker is Aniket Bajpai. He's the co-founder at LimeChat. He also is the head of growth. He is an e-commerce expert, has worked with over 175 plus leading D2C brands across the globe to reduce their customer acquisition cost and boost retention rates. Aniket is also a two-time entrepreneur and an angel investor for several e-commerce SaaS startups. Welcome aboard, Aniket. I know this is your webinar, but still, welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Aniket. The next speaker who we have is Saurav, who is the co-founder at Marmeto. Marmeto is India's first Shopify Plus partner agency. From to creating custom Shopify apps, they've got you covered. We can definitely, I've definitely seen some amazing websites coming from Saurav's company. As a result, Saurav interacts with many D2C founders daily and has some interesting tips on how to grow a D2C brand on Shopify, especially. Welcome aboard, Saurav.
Thank you very much.
And finally, for our last panelist, she has a very extensive resume, but to put it down, she's the founder of Contensify, and she's also a content manager with Shopify. Vani, as she likes to be called, her agency Contensify has written and strategized content for many D2C brands and Shopify apps. Content marketing is one of the biggest growth drivers for any and every e-commerce brand today, and I'm sure the people who have joined in will agree. And Vani will share her tips on how to create an impactful content strategy. Thank you for joining us, Vani.
Thank you for inviting me.
That's the really quick introduction, but I don't want to take the limelight away from any of these wonderful panelists. Let's get started with this webinar. So I have some interesting questions, and of course, just to before we get started, the agenda will be that for the first 30 minutes, we will be covering a few of the most hard-pressed questions that all of us have had. We have some of our customers also asking these questions, so we'll be asking that. In the last 20 minutes or so, we would be taking the Q&A, and the last 5 minutes, we'll wrap it up with a quick summary and a thank you to each and every one of you. So that's the agenda. So let me get started. The first question I obviously have for Abhilasha. So Abhilasha, your brand, which is Open Secret, is doing an amazing job at creating engagement on social media. We definitely, everybody knows that building a user base is quite challenging, and you have done an amazing job overcoming this. So what is Open Secret's true secret to garner more customers using social media?
Love the pun on the word secret. We loved you doing that in a lot of our content as well. So yeah, I think social media is a really important lever for us. And I think the way we use it is, it allows us to, so we've been an omni-channel brand, and we're also an omni-channel platform now, which means we went from being just a brand to being a platform where you could have like a variety of guilt-free, unjunked food and beverages. Now with Instagram, it's really allowed us to connect to a very young professional, working professional, like young parent audience, and in a very fun way. You know, one of our key goals with this whole space has been, often when we talk about healthy snacking, it's very preachy in nature, which isn't the tonality of our brand at all. We want it to be really fun, and we want it to be very, like, you know, guilt-free, tasty, and all of that. And that Instagram really allows us to do that. So you'll see a lot of stuff that we do with our own in-house team. In fact, our own in-house team makes a lot of like cool reels, cool sort of videos to just really communicate how we are doing as a platform and how they can make these guilt-free, tasty options a part of their day-to-day life. You know, office snacking, recipes, and all of that. So it really allows us to connect to one very important TG. The second one, and I think this, we've really realized the power of LinkedIn, right? So again, as an omni-channel, we also work with the B2B clients, etc. And LinkedIn really allows us to get through there. LinkedIn is also the hotbed of one of our key TGs, which is working professionals. So it really allows us to, you know, get there, and both through a lot of writing that we do on LinkedIn itself, and also writing that individual leaders do on the space. So, you know, really great way. We often spend a lot of time and energy thinking of what is the most relevant on each platform, but it's really allowed us to connect to our target segments in a very sort of brand consistent manner. So we've been very, you know, we find it a very great tool to reach out to our consumers. And one last thought here is that it also lets them come to us, right? It's, you know, we obviously get not just consumer complaints, we also get consumer complaints in these channels, but we also get suggestions. Like when we're launching a new set of products, we'll often take free, you know, feedback, polls, etc. So I think it's a two-way communication channel, and we've really benefited from it. So yeah, it's been a great journey with different mediums of social media, Instagram and LinkedIn being primary.
Awesome. I mean, that's very interesting how you guys are, you know, constantly generating reels and engaging your audience. I mean, I'm fascinated by the number of reels that you guys produce. So kudos to you guys on that. I'll move on to the next panelist. Aniket, this is to you. You know, WhatsApp has proven itself powerful in the entire buying journey for users, and especially for businesses, you know, leveraging them. How do you think WhatsApp can really help D2C brands get more sales?
Awesome. Yeah, this is one of my favorite topics to talk about, obviously. But before I go into this, I would like to give a background to everyone about why WhatsApp is important as well for commerce, and why this revolution has happened around WhatsApp over the past 2 years, where we have like almost every major brand now having a very active presence on WhatsApp. And the reason is that as a consumer, all of us can relate that we use it in our day-to-day lives to communicate with each other. So whatever communication happens on WhatsApp, whether it is someone else sending us a message or us sending somebody else a message, it is just much more personalized and much more impactful. And that is the real question of how you can leverage WhatsApp for commerce as a brand. That each and every activity that you do in terms of acquiring customers, getting them to your website, then giving them a buying journey there, convincing them to give your brand a try, then kind of nudging them after they have bought, getting them back, retaining them, right? So the question is, how can you leverage WhatsApp and personalization at each and every step to kind of just supercharge your funnel, so to speak. And typically, the way traditionally brands did this was they ran ads on Instagram, which are the real bottom of the funnel ads to bring someone to their website. They used a website to kind of convince that person about their product and to convert them. And then finally, brands typically used email campaigns once someone has bought to keep that particular customer updated about whatever is happening with them, whatever new offers are coming up, what new products are being launched, and so on. And if you just think about it, at all three steps of this journey, WhatsApp can completely kind of change the game for a brand. And the way it happens is, let me start with the most easy example, which is around targeting your existing customer base. And the same message which you are sending them on email, right? That same thing can actually be communicated in a much more effective way on WhatsApp itself. You'll just it is much more easier to just grab your users' attention and kind of tell them that this is your new discount, this is a new store opening, this is a new product launch, and so on. So that is the benefit of it right away. Now the second thing is, once you have grabbed someone's attention, typically what an email campaign also does is it has a CTA which takes that customer to your website, and that is where the person can again explore and buy. But the second opportunity which WhatsApp presents is a way for your customers to explore and buy your products on WhatsApp itself. Almost as if they're talking, almost as if you were there physically in a store and they have come to your store and they're asking questions, they're looking at the product and they're buying. And with WhatsApp coming up with all of these new features in the recent past, things like product catalogs, right? In fact, recently being able to fill in your address and even pay on WhatsApp, right? It just makes this entire journey very, very seamless and in fact, much more easier to do as a user than even a website. So that is why, because of this ease of buying on WhatsApp, right? And because of the personalized experience, you can actually kind of engage your users much more effectively and in fact, convert in some cases twice or thrice as many users on WhatsApp. And so if the journey of buying on WhatsApp is so compelling compared to a website, right? Whatever campaigns you are doing, even if they are ad campaigns with your new users or retention campaigns with your existing users, all of these present an opportunity to just plug those campaigns into your WhatsApp shop, so to speak, where your customers can, at least people who have a decent idea about your product, can just ask a few questions, get some confidence and buy, right? And just finally, to kind of top it off, because I was talking about the entire customer journey, the final part is actually, which is also overlooked in many cases, is the support, which is a great opportunity for you to build a strong brand, right? And basically, because it is a personalized channel, customers should have that peace of mind that whenever they have a problem, that someone is just a WhatsApp away. They can just open their WhatsApp, search for the brand, just write whatever query they have, and get a resolution very quickly. And basically, because of this, WhatsApp presents the opportunity to kind of just engage your customers much better during the marketing, the sales, and the support. So that is what we have seen working with 200 plus brands now across various domains like beauty, cosmetics, apparel, food, personal care, and so on.
Thanks, Aniket, for taking each and every one of us through that journey. I think that's and it's really nice that a company is actually putting in that effort to take care of the entire funnel, as I would put it. Before we proceed, just a quick note to all our listeners that if you have any questions, please put that in the Q&A section. You would see in your Zoom webinar, you would see a section called as Q&A. You can put in your questions and we will take time out towards the end of the webinar to answer all of those questions. Also, a quick note is that please stay tuned throughout the webinar because we have some really exciting news to share, especially about Diwali. And we have a ton of questions about how to leverage Diwali, right? So stay tuned for that. Moving forward, I'll ask my next question to Saurav. Saurav, you run an agency and work closely with a lot of D2C founders. How are the best brands in your portfolio leveraging social media? What are your overall thoughts and insights on
that? I think what it really overlap of what even Vilasha mentioned, because the thought process is very similar. In D2C has a lot to know about the brand, and it also has a lot to know about what's the mind behind the brand. So when at the same time you have LinkedIn as one of the very powerful tools of understanding where the brand would head in terms of people speaking about it, in terms of the stakeholders putting their thought processes, a lot I see depends there. Who is speaking what, let's say, is what Saurav's thought process behind running Marmito could be an example to relate. But yeah, in terms of getting polls through them. Now, coming on to a very consumer-based journey or from a product-based journey, I think Instagrams and YouTubes, where you can immediately go and just shop the product, plays a very important role of not just what my product is, what my brand is, but in terms of understanding what my consumers feel about it. Or it is not about that, okay, I have a specific product now to sell. It has more become, I have this experience for a consumer to go try, explore. And there are too many intuitive ways now to do it. You see, reels are one of the options, a very, very quirky ways of using a snack in office, or maybe a cosmetic in to start your day. Could be a crunchy breakfast to do with. And you see all of this is very relatable in day-to-day life. You see teams doing it in their day-to-day lives, like not for the brand, by the brand kind of concept, where they don't just love the brand, they actually live the brand. No, influencers would use it on their skin and show that this is what the difference is, or fans would just use the product and show how using a particular kind of product has changed their lifestyle. And it is all quite evident out in the market for anyone to comment. It's not like an advertisement pre-planned, framed, curated. It's not like it's coming direct from raw consumers. You are able to see the nitty-gritties of difference. You're able to relate that, yeah, this is how the brand would also come to my home, and this is how I will be also able to use it and maybe change the way I live. So it has become much more interactive. Whereas traditionally it was more of, a persona that brands used to invest to create and then just present it. It has now become that you can't just present something and consumers are going to accept it. So I see all of these brands trying ways out, because where Aniket also mentioning, imagining WhatsApp as one concept, brands pay a lot of attention now that how these journeys will be collated. It is not just about me pitching a product. It is about how consumers are acting to it, how they are reacting in terms of buying, how easy that is, and not just about buying. How do I even tell about it, whether I have bought is right or wrong? How do I get the kind of assistance? All of this through social media has become so easy. It's just a click. Traditionally was into going on to the store, logging in, going in, that whole support, it was kind of a very lengthy process, which has now become very interactive, very intuitive. And even as a brand guardian also, it puts that, hey, it's out there, so we need to be super proactive. So in case if there is a backseat in terms of consumers action, you be more proactive that, hey, what's going to be there, how the consumers are going to react. So I feel it has increased a pace, and it has become a lot more intuitive for the brands. It has become much more clearer for consumers to wait and hear from all the other fellow consumers that social media pe kya chal raha hai, let's try it from there. How our audience reacting to it? I feel it has become much more comfortable from a lot of ways. And all the founders that I have been interacting with, it's not something that they ignore. It's something that they really, really look forward to, that how is it getting actions or reactions on social media. So yeah, that's how I have been hearing.
Got it. Saurav, that was really interesting. In fact, I have a quick follow-up question that just popped in my mind, which is, what do you think should be, the sort of tech stack a company should take up, a D2C brand should take up for to really leverage their maybe it's the Shopify store, or maybe if they're not using Shopify, still for the entire social media, what do you think should be a tech stack?
No, I don't think, see, there is one linear answer to it, I tell you. A reason, because each of the tools that we are using is giving one or the other advantage. For example, there are very specialized tools to have Instagram communication very active, where there are other integrations that make WhatsApp communication very active with your online store. And each of these integrations that I talk about are so equilaterally spent across, be it Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, anyone. So I don't think there is going to be one kind of a tech stack, but what I see is, yes, you should consider that social media now is not just a channel of advertising. It's more of a point of sale. Think of that as a POS system that you have to integrate in your store. Yes, definitely with Shopify, we work on it and it makes the life easier. But I would say that all of these platforms where your stores are, it's very equally available. And I think we should opt for different channels. WhatsApp primary, I think, yeah. Instagram, YouTube again coming up. LinkedIn is something that you don't need to have an integration as such, but LinkedIn is something that you need to think of because your brand perception in terms of mature audience is getting created there. So that's what I personally.
Thank you for that detailed answer. It's sort of, I'm sure the D2C brands will really learn from this point that you shared with us, that it should be like a mix of different tools that may make sense for them right at that point in time. I'll move on to the next question. This time this is for Vani. Vani, you have your own agency and you are also part of support. You're a content manager at Shopify, and so how is it as an agency that what do you think as to how would you help brands leverage social media, especially from the what is it that D2C brands really need to use? What type of content do they need to use so that they can really scale their social media and leverage the upcoming years so that they can grow into a massive brand and also get a lot of users to really start using their products?
I'm going to use a bit of answers from Abhilasha, Saurav, and Aniket, and I'm going to mix them all up together. Say the one thing that is obviously very clear is that you are no longer taking a consumer to your property. It's more like meeting them where they are the most active. And that's why the whole concept of social commerce comes in, right? So it includes not just social media platforms, but also chat apps, because that's practically where we socialize. That's practically where we're talking every single day. So all the chat apps and everything are coming together. And now if you look at how platforms like Shopify are, kind of bridging the gap, because initially what used to happen was people used to post a lot of good content on, let's say, platforms like Instagram. But then you would still have to wait for somebody to click through and go to your website. That would come only in the bio. And it's really challenging. And, it's almost up to the consumer whether they really want to do it or they have the time or not. So higher bounds. But now there are platforms and there are tools like Linkpop, for example. So they're syncing your social efforts. So instead of just posting a story and then trying to put a link, if you put a link pop, it can straight go to the cart, right? So they can make the purchase faster. Similarly, there are WhatsApp links right now. And if any brand is using the WhatsApp Business API or a solution provider, they can practically create checkout links, create WhatsApp links, and it's in a jiffy. So you're not asking them to move to 2 to 3 steps more to make a purchase. Right. So what I think is that right now is a very good time for brands to tap into intent of consumers, which obviously means creating a lot of content, like Saurav and Abhilasha said, which is helpful, value oriented. It's kind of addressing that problem. It's authentic. It's not like, okay, I'm trying to push so that you make a sale, make a purchase from us. It does not have to be that. But at the same time, it also means smartly integrating sales channels and treating each of these social platforms as an independent channel, which can, drive a good amount of revenue for you. But at the same time, I think one key thing that brands will really need to note here is knowing where the audience is before really integrating all the sales channels. If you think about it, Shopify practically has all the sales channels. So it has Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Pinterest, there's TikTok, then there's Snapchat. So the list is practically endless, right? Now, as a brand, yes, you can integrate all of them and, kind of experiment. But I think at the core strategy should be first knowing where your audience is. If it's on WhatsApp, please use WhatsApp, not Pinterest, because Pinterest is probably too new for India, for instance. But if your audience is in the US, then Pinterest is a very good channel to drive sales. So when you're integrating social with your content, I think one thing that you really need to understand is you're creating a journey, and it has to start in a funnel wise kind of a manner. So you're giving them a touch base one, touch base two, wherein they're just exploring what the brand has to offer and then trying to understand how it fits into the picture for them, and then leveraging the right kind of tools to make that experience seamless. Because imagine somebody reaching out to you on WhatsApp, but you don't have an FAQ automation. So they're going to have to back and forth, kind of message you so many times that they'll probably leave. The same goes with Instagram. So if you look at content, most of the comments are actually unanswered. That's where social media response tools are coming in. So social media response tools really help keep up with all the likes, mentions, and everything. So I think it's important that you have the right kind of stack as well, which is with the marketing team or with the content team, so that they're able to stay on top of, okay, what's happening? But again, evaluate what you need, because social commerce can turn into such a big, massive chunk that it'll become really hard to attribute which channel is really working, what type of content is really working. So I think a very synced effort and a funnel-wise approach is how DTC brands are really going to succeed here.
Got it. I have a follow-up thing. By any chance, would you have any insider secrets from Shopify about how they're actually helping brands leverage social media?
I would definitely say Link Pop. You have to try it. Link Pop's access was given to a lot of brands as well very early on. And I think that is one of the tools that works real seamlessly. So, I mean, having written and evaluated a couple of tools wherein we are seeing that, okay, message on Instagram and then they get an auto reply. The most effective way is actually the checkout links. So the two things that are really working for us and the kind of statistics that we see, one is definitely WhatsApp/checkout links, right? The second is definitely the link pop links, because that is like a connect between the social media platforms and your Shopify store. So I would say that, kind of try to use these two together, because it really holds the key to, starting that conversation and really shortening the sales cycle for you.
Awesome. That's really a very interesting insight that I'm going to take away from this webinar. So the next question is like a sort of a question to all of you. I will take it one by one for each of you. So influencer marketing, as we know, is a huge winner for D2C brands. Customers tend to get influenced, and that helps brands make more sales. And a lot of you work closely, with this ecosystem. If it would be great if you can quickly touch upon the best practices that you personally have used for influencer marketing. I'll start off this time with Saurabh.
So I think I had a couple of experiences with this, both good and bad. I'll go with a good one first. Is when you say, or when a brand is, the first stage is that when a brand is ready for influencer marketing. It's not about the fund that you have raised, and it's not about when you are present in the market. It's about how connected you are with the consumer, and which influencer are you choosing. So a good example is we chose an influencer on one of a yogurt brand, I would say, and what happened was that since they're so deep rooted in terms of consumers and the influencers, the campaign that was planted was so well that the influencer themselves were a part of creating the whole journey for the user. Now the storyline was made taking that, or that was the whole content piece, that okay, I am anyways using this product every day here in my home, and let me give this to the consumer. And that was the length, and that's where the consumer started happening. And on your online store, ignore all the social channels. Even on the online store, the whole direction from Instagram was to, hey, try it there, because I have put my content there and I know how it goes. And it directly drew such a massive traffic, and definitely with, again, the right CRO practices, that once someone lands with the most minimum clicks, let them shop that, let them have that one product that we are actually trying to get into. That worked very well. At the same time, it was also about an influencer who in itself is quite a massive name, but the brand has not entered consumers' heart. The brand hasn't entered a lot of consumer homes. So no matter what you're gonna say, no matter how powerful your campaign is, the base consumer does not have used your product once. So it's also about when you launch a product, and then when do you add an influencer to it actually plays the game. So at times when we even start stores, my beginning of concerns always comes in that, hey, the cart opens even when I add one product to the cart. I say that for a new brand, let consumer take one product and let the product reach their home first. Once your product has got that kind of a affirmation from the consumers, be it even one product, let them shop 3 and let your influencers then come in place and make them, instead of 3, take 30.
Got
So
it.
the bigger game is about when influencer comes in and who comes in. Who comes in and says what. That has been my major experience in terms of how social media has been used. I really did not have that kind of an insight in terms of that. But what I understood from the traffic and understanding, analytics understanding, is that, okay, the influencer came in maybe too early, or the influencer came in not with the right kind of what is nature in terms of helping the brand. So my insight is there that when you use is also a key in terms of driving things.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, Saurav. Your thoughts, Abhilasha, on this question?
No, I think, Saurav, you just literally hit the nail on the head in terms of what we constantly go back and forth on the stage of the company. So the stage we've been at, we've actually leveraged, so we haven't gone with very, very large influencers. That's also a function of the TG that we go after. We have to go after like working professionals, moms. That's like, the goal, the North Star for us. So we've used a lot of micro and nano influencers. And I think we're still folks where we want them to truly try and like the product before sort of influencing people, because food and snacks and beverages is so intimately linked to your life that like wo pata chal jata hai, if you're like you're just sort of like doing it, it's very obvious. So that's been one lever for us. The other, and that's kind of one of the reasons why we also started exploring using our own team as influencers for
Nice.
Interesting coincidence, we do have people who have decent followings, right? They actually are at least micro nano influencers, and they love the product, right? Like most people who've joined the company always have a story of having loved the product, including myself. So yeah, I think authenticity matters a lot. Second is like that influencer needs to fit into your TG. So for us, we've often worked with micro and nano influencers for our mom target segment. And of course, working professionals, we are working professionals, so it hits in well. And I think this is very necessary to break the clutter. Because if you don't today, like almost everyone knows that there is a lot of influenced content on Instagram, which is the primary mode. And so you have to have a very strong product and influencer sort of, your target segment and influencer fit, and the authenticity needs to come through, right? So those are two really broad things. And I think it's also like, you have to see whether even in the influencer thing, it's like, does this really resonate? Right? Is the person trying a recipe with it? Is it something that we're in the food space, right? Are they really giving it to their kids? And that actually puts a pretty high pressure on us, because often like we work with, influencers who are mothers, and they frankly will not take certain products because they also have to buy it for their kids. So I think, authenticity helps a lot. And we're also kind of still figuring out the right stage where we would do a much larger influencer play. But yeah, so far, micro and nano is a really good one. Using your own in-house stuff is really good to really get the message across to different segments, and to also see it around festive season. We see a lot of that even around the festive season in Diwali. So that's been our approach so far.
Got it.
I have open secret products right in the kitchen. Unfortunately, I'm not a nano, I'm a nano influencer. But I'll try to influence Mameto to opt it. I have a couple of categories in my kitchen right now.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, we also do a lot of corporate influencing. So like we said, we're omni-channel. So obviously, like, we sell, but like all our partners like Marmeto, we're working with, a few other folks as well. We influence them by seeding our products with them and then making sure that they like it and distribute it. So yeah, that's been our approach so far.
Awesome. So keeping a check on time, I'm going to move into the most important question. Of course, everybody, that's there on everybody's mind, which is Diwali. It's just around the corner, and marketplaces have already started, huge discount sales. So I want, of course, everybody's thoughts on this. So I'll start with Vani. A lot of the social media activities are being planned to get attention from users, right? So how do brands make their social media engage with more users?
Okay, one of the key things here before they even begin is one, identifying what your value proposition is going to be apart from the discount and the sale, because that's practically something that everybody is going to be doing. So if you're positioning, let's say, a food brand, then in that case, why are you positioning it during Diwali? Your USP has to be extremely clear. And if you're presenting a gift set, then what is it about your gift set that makes it so different from the others that are going to be there? Because practically every brand, every online marketplace, every little seller is going to present the best. They're just going to gift wrap things. If your packaging could be better, maybe, small differentiators. So I think that's number one, that they need to begin now. But the second strategy that we have seen success with is actually taking in pre-orders, or at least taking in interest, so that you know what the intent looks like and you know what to double down on just as the Diwali sale really begins. So you can start pretty early, trying to gauge their interest, that what kind of packages would they like to see? What kind of gift sets are they looking at? Okay, is this Diwali different for you? What does Diwali hold, as a meaning for you? Understanding the consumers and their basic sentiment behind a festive. So it's called sentiment analysis usually. And many marketers skip on it because sentiment analysis is a little hard to crack. You will have to use a social listening tool there, right? So it's like one layer up apart from the keywords that usually people tap into, or the discounts that people usually tap into. So I would say use sentiment analysis to really nail down your USP, or maybe just conduct a round of feedback, which is going to be super easy to do apart from sentiment analysis, to understand what your consumers are looking at, and start early. Integrate the key channels so that you're making it very comfortable and very easy for them to place a pre-order, or let's say that ask you about, okay, if I need 10 gift sets for my family, how do I place an order in such a way that it comes to me 1 week prior to Diwali, because they want to further customize it.
Right.
Key channels like, let's say, WhatsApp here specifically could really make for a great strategy, because if you're capturing their intent early on, you want them on conversations. And during Diwali, there's so many ads on social that you can't cut through the noise. So that's where you need more two-way conversations happening and a more one-to-one channel. So I would say start now, start early, and try and capture their interest on channels that provide you with a two-way communication, so that you can cut through the noise later on, because later on your CAC is going to increase so massively that
Right.
people are just going to come to your site and eventually leave looking for another discount.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, Vani, for that. My next question again goes back to Abhilasha. What's your strategy this time for Diwali, and how do you plan to make the most of it, if I may ask? Yeah.
So, and I think Vani already covered some parts of it, right? Like, for example, we just a few months back, we evolved from being a brand to being a platform where you can buy a variety of unjunked brands. And we can't compete with the discounting that's being given out by like everyone, right? Like,
Right.
we're very realistic, and we don't want to for a variety of reasons. So value prop is really important to us. And thankfully, our product and positioning fits in very well. Like, people really want to, this is the festive season. It's the season for eating, for like, meeting around food and eating, gifting food. And we don't want people to have any guilt associated with it. And this is, while not compromising on taste. So we have everything from like nuts, nutty cookies, zero maida biscuits, we're even getting an unjunked mithai, which is the one I'm personally really looking forward to. So really value prop is key over there. because that's the only way you break the clutter of discounting. Because when you're sort of going down the discounting game, it's a zero-sum game, and you honestly cannot compete with the really large, we have like, the Amazons and the Q-commerce and the, Flipkarts of the world. You can't compete with those. The second, and I think, again, so I don't know if WhatsApp was meant to be an MVP tool, a minimum viable product tool, but we use it as one, right? So for example, we could have in theory built a customized buying and gifting experience on our website. Because like Vani correctly said, people are interested in customization and bulk orders, etc. But we weren't ready for it. And plus we're a pretty scrappy team. So we started doing it on WhatsApp. We have like two-way communication. We have a personal shopper. They have a catalog. They're able to sort of like go two-way and like do, we do targeted campaigns. And then for the people who are responding, we have like someone personally take it up. So this is a time when personalization matters a lot. And it really allows us to get through, because it allows us to make that customization, do those bulk orders without necessarily being a B2B gifting, platform. We aren't that from a website perspective. And again, maybe this is consumer misbehavior. So we as consumers of lots of WhatsApp channels, we use it as a minimum viable product tool. So we just get out the flows there, learn a lot. And it's really been helpful for us, surprisingly so. So both huge fans of value prop, huge fans of like delivering very guilt-free, tasty food and beverages this festive season, and leveraging personalized channels, especially WhatsApp, to get that done.
Awesome. I mean, that's really insightful, what you shared. I'm sure a lot of brands would want to, sort of copy and paste it onto their platform, right? My next question actually goes to Aniket, especially for the Diwali. WhatsApp remarketing is hugely beneficial for brands during this time. So how is live chat planning to increase engagement on WhatsApp, especially for its clients at this point in time?
Right, definitely. The key for us, because we help brands enable conversational commerce, is just to help them leverage the two biggest channels, which is WhatsApp and Instagram, to drive sales. And on WhatsApp, again, we've come up with lots and lots of exciting things where you can send lots of campaigns at various instances in the user journey in an automated way, along with doing like normal broadcasts and stuff, so that you can just reach the right users at the right time, right, on their channel of choice. And we have brought a lot of things in the buying journey so that it is much more easier to add discounts at various places throughout the flow, because at the end, that is one big thing which consumers look for definitely during Diwali, right? So on the WhatsApp front, it is all about being able to engage users at the right time, and make it very, very easy for them to purchase before somebody else kind of grabs their attention and takes them away, right? As everyone said, like in the minimum number of clicks, getting them from like the intent to the purchase. And if they drop off at any of these stages, being able to reach out to them, to remarket to them, and kind of get them back again as soon as possible. So we did this, we have started doing this during Navratri as well, and we've gotten a lot of interesting insights. And in fact, it is not sometimes not just about converting people and closing the sale, but maybe even to judge intent, like for people coming up to buy something, especially when they have larger orders, being able to understand that this customer has actually asked a lot of questions, looked at a lot of things, but not converted. So helping brands access that data very easily, potentially very high intent leads, which they can kind of engage through other channels such as ads, or maybe even directly calling them in some cases, and just kind of closing them. So just trying to make it very easy for brands to leverage all the data that is available, the user data which is available on WhatsApp, to reach out to everyone and give them a personalized experience. So that is basically what we have been doing around WhatsApp. But apart from WhatsApp, the biggest thing which we have been seeing over the past 3 to 6 months is actually around Instagram, right? Which is again like one of the biggest social channels. And each and every person in this webinar, in this talk as well, mentioned the importance of Instagram, especially because the users are there, right? It is very easy to find your users there. They spend hours and hours every day. It is easy to target them as well through your own social media, through influencers, through ads. And brands are actually excellent at actually coming up with strategies to engage their users on Instagram. But the biggest challenge which we keep on hearing day in and day out is how do we take those engaged users, those high intent users, and actually convert them to a purchase? How do we drive revenue from them? And people have been trying various hacks till now, just for to find ways to somehow kind of get that person either from a comment or from a post or from an influencer campaign or an ad somehow to the right place in the website, right? And make sure that with a minimum number of clicks, things could actually convert into a sale. So what we have been doing, which is something I am super excited to announce, is that we have partnered with Meta exclusively, and we have come up with a way so that users can actually complete their entire buying journey with a very minimum number of clicks on the Instagram, inside the Instagram app itself, in the DM section. And it is something called an Instagram shopping journey, or an Instagram shop. So basically on Instagram, wherever users are being engaged, whether it is comments, influencer campaigns, ads, right? Meta has actually enabled us to just capture all of those people, those high intent users, and convert them very seamlessly with just 1 or 2 clicks, right? On that Instagram shopping experience, being able to see the products, being able to see the discounts, being able to ask questions, and finally being able to pay as well. And that is something we are very excited to pilot. We have been kind of working against time to get it done before the Navratri, and we are very excited to kind of launch it. We just launched it a few days back, and it has started getting great adoption, and like we have started seeing great initial results from this. So this is just one part of the entire thing, being enabling brands to build that Instagram shop and enabling their users to shop from them in a very easy manner, right in the Instagram app itself. But there is another thing which is even more interesting, which is actually a way to solve another big problem, which is CAC, right? Especially during the festive season. So because if you show ads and if you keep on showing ads to capture someone's attention, right? It is you are doing the same thing as everyone else, and that will be an incredible CAC, because you are going after the same users. So what we have done with this Instagram shop, with this Instagram conversational experience, is that once you have captured someone's attention, let us say, typically what brands do is they might have to show an ad, a bottom of the funnel ad 3 or 4 times to a user. And then that person actually, at each step, some people kind of come and go to the website and purchase. But what happens with Instagram shop is you just show that ad once, you get someone to your Instagram shop, and then what you can do is, instead of retargeting them through an ad, you can retarget them for free for the next 7 days on DM itself, right? So once you show an ad, the next 3 to 4 times you retarget them, you can do it for free instead of like spending that ad budget again and again on that same user. And that is something which we have started seeing as one of the biggest ways to kind of reduce CAC. And we're really looking forward to seeing how it works at scale during the festive season. So very excited to kind of announce and work with a lot of brands to make their festive season a success for them as well.
Awesome. I mean, that's really thrilling news, and I'm sure each and every one of the brands and the marketers who want to, really leverage each of their consumer base to really, convert and the existing customers or viewers of those ads. I think it'll be a huge sigh of relief, and it'll definitely reduce CAC to a very large extent. And of course, your overall buying journey itself will, reduce. Isn't that the case, Aniket?
Yes, definitely. That is definitely our intent and hope.
Okay, awesome. So with that, what we'll do is we'll just put up a poll for you guys. So any of you all can, what's the latest offering. In fact, we at LimeChat are, we enable D2C brands, D2C companies to really leverage conversational commerce, especially in the WhatsApp and in Instagram, which is a new launch that we had just today. So I'm just going to open a poll just now. So the question is very simple. Do you want to know more about LimeChat's offering? And if yes, just click on yes, I want a demo. If no, you don't want to scale your brand and you're happy with your existing results, yeah, okay. We'll just take 2 minutes before we move on. Awesome. As the entries are coming in, if others are seeing the poll, please do put in your responses. We will move into the Q&A section. The first, we have quite a few questions coming in, which this is a question that I definitely ask Aniket over here. How do we target customers through the various channels?
Okay, I'm assuming that they're talking about targeting customers through Instagram and through WhatsApp, right? I think like one of the major things we covered in this, everyone covered and went over their area of expertise is how to kind of target people on those two channels. So on Instagram, you can build what I can summarize is that you can you can be very clear about your target audience, about your about how you stand out basically, and make some effective content, find the right people to distribute that content, and kind of go ahead and do it, whether it is your own team, whether it is your users, whether it is influencers. And once it starts working, you can kind of scale it up, obviously using ads, right? And I guess that is one of the most effective ways to leverage Instagram because your users are there. On WhatsApp, again, a good way to leverage it, it depends on the on the size of your brand or what stage you are in the journey, but it is best to start with the lowest hanging fruits, which is just take your most effective campaigns which you might already be running on email, and just start shifting them to WhatsApp, so that immediately you start seeing the improvement in the engagement. Then start seeing what kind of questions people are asking, what kind of users are coming in, right? What kind of products do they want to buy, like Abhilasha mentioned with that MVP approach, and then kind of go about building that kind of buying journey in an automated way. And until that time, try to do it in a manual way to figure out what is it that your users really need, right? And once that is effectively the way to crack each channel, I guess, to figure out who are the people who are coming in, what is their intent, and what is a way to kind of scalably convert them, right? And then try to come up with a scalable, try to use the right tech stack, whatever channel it might be, to just scale up this whatever you have figured out. So I guess yeah, that is my summary.
Got it. Thanks so much, Aniket. Quickly moving on to the next question. This one is to Saurabh. Which are your personal favorites among D2C brands who are using social media or WhatsApp?
I would say Boat is one of my personal favorites. I've been in their journey right when they incepted, and even now. I would also say Epigamia, Mcaffeine, and yeah, one of the other personal favorites is Open Secret, that I just now said that they are still lying with us. So yeah, these are some secrets, some brands, and I'm personally invested in those brands. So that's one reason that yeah, I definitely try and experience them, that okay, how they are. So all these brands that I work with, I try them and see that okay, what are some things that I can really give.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. The next question goes to Vani. Is what type of content should be sent via WhatsApp to potential customers for the first time?
Okay, here it actually depends on which customers you're sending the first message to, right? So it depends on where they are in the funnel. Are they people who have just subscribed or opted into your WhatsApp list? Are they people who have bought from you but have probably not interacted with you for the last 30 days? Or they are people who engage every now and then, but it's infrequent and you don't see a pattern, right? So a lot of brands are making the mistake of using WhatsApp only and only for running WhatsApp broadcasts, which means essentially you're throwing ads at them just via a different channel. So you're not technically creating content. Writing a short message is not content. So whenever that you're using WhatsApp and you really want to create content there that nurtures your audience, the people that you have captured on WhatsApp, I would say treat it like a newsletter. Diversify the type of content that you really put up. It can't always be about discounts and deals. Maybe share a customer success story or a nice review that probably an influencer gave you. So it kind of syncs your influencer efforts also and your WhatsApp also. Conduct a survey, right? Maybe share insights on the last purchase. For example, if IKEA sold a product without a how-to guide, I'm pretty sure all of us were going to struggle, kind of assembling the entire furniture piece, right? So if somebody has bought that from you and your that data has been captured, I think WhatsApp makes it the perfect channel to send a quick how-to guide. They may have missed it in the packaging because we all hate the paper that comes with it. So I think on the phone, I'm happy to watch a video on how to assemble my IKEA, right? So I think the hack really is create content apart from your discounts. Discounts are obviously a big part of it. Treat broadcasts for the same, but also leverage other business API features, which let you actually, treat it like a full-fledged newsletter for polls, general promotions, educational content, etc.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, that was really insightful. I'm going to take two more questions. The next question is, what are the tips to maintain the sanity of WhatsApp channel? That is not to make it as spammy and saturated as email and SMS. So what do you think are the tips? This goes to Abhilash.
So we have like pretty strict internal norms of because it's a very personal channel, it also means you have to be very careful about it not being intrusive. So we have our own internal guidelines of the number of times we reach out to folks, and it just cannot be breached. Like nobody can send it without like taking a very specific escalated permission, which actually I never give. So that's number one. The second is, I think Vani really hit the nail on the head. It's segmentation. It's not a mass broadcast, right? It's like you start seeing the the stop unsubscribes, people stopping to engage. It has to be very much more segmented, targeted. And also, like, frankly, it's also sometimes comes down to as little as copy. Like it has to be something different. It has to be something personal. The joke in the company is that my favorite stress buster is writing copy for WhatsApp. So because I really think that it is a very personal channel, and hence you have to do everything, whether it's like, frequency limits, segmentation, even the type of copy, to make sure that it remains personal and it doesn't borderline into spammy or intrusive, because then those people are going to get really pissed very soon.
Right. For me, the key takeaway in this is that use it as a stress buster. So
writing copy is my stress buster. So in case anybody, that's a very weird one, but my team likes it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Abhilasha. And the final question goes back to Aniket. This comes back to what you were sharing earlier. Are you able to show the products like via catalog, like just like how Geo is able to?
Okay. So mainly what we have seen in WhatsApp is what we effectively do is help brands build the best buying journey, right? So what I will do is try to answer the question behind the question as well, right? I'll just talk about what is the best way to actually build that buying journey on WhatsApp. And if you it goes back to first segmentation, which everyone mentioned. You need to understand who are the users coming in and what do they need to see, so that their buying journey is minimized, the number of steps and the time it takes to buy is minimized. So for users, let us say, who are your existing customers who have bought in the last 30 days, who know about a product, the best way to engage them is just send them a message with the product where they can see it with a discount, maybe with the pack, give them a few options of quantity, and then make it easy for them to just click, use their pre-saved address and just take them to the payment, right? what we have seen is that on WhatsApp, very rarely it so happens that WhatsApp helps users in actually discovering the wide variety of products you have. It is better at engaging people who have heard about your brand and shown interest in some products. Otherwise, you'll just be spamming everyone. They will come, they will kind of discover, they will just look at a few things and they will go away. You won't get that ROI. So the way we have built stuff is to make things to make it very easy for people who have shown interest in particular products to figure out the right variants, the right quantity, the right size or the color, and then kind of complete the checkout very quickly. We do have, again, like answering the question around the product catalogs, we do have a basic integration with the product catalog and our own product browsing system as well, where you can browse products by clicking through a quiz or through free text. But in general, like my main tip to everyone, at the beginning of starting their WhatsApp journey, is that not to kind of focus too much on the features, but to figure out how they can leverage WhatsApp for their users at the right step in the journey, and then tell us how we can kind of help them leverage, drive that result for them, right? So yeah, that is like my main answer to that.
Thank you, Aniket. That was an extensive answer. And since we've run out of time, thank you everybody for joining in for this webinar. A special thank you to especially Abhilasha from Open Secret, Saurav from Mameto, Aniket from LimeChat, and Bunny from Contensify and Shopify. So thank you guys. It was amazing panel webinar that we had. I'm taking a lot of insights from this, and I'm sure our listeners are also doing the same. So thank you so much for this.
Lovely being here. Great insights.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, and thank you to all the listeners who tuned in away from from their busy schedules, and look forward to seeing you in our next webinar, where we are going to have it with Meta and Neil Patel Digital India. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.